This is the Wide Format Impressions broadcast.
Welcome back to the WFI broadcast. I'm here reporting from Printing United Expo in Orlando. This is an amazing show so far. We're in day 2 right now, and I'm thrilled to be sitting down with Dave Leskusky, president of Printing United Alliance. So first of all, welcome, Dave.
Thanks, Dan.
What are your impressions of the show so far?
It's overwhelming. It's been a great first couple days. Anytime that you lead up to a show of this size, you're looking at everything from the number of exhibitors, number of attendees. You're checking the weather, especially being down here in Florida, and the stars have certainly aligned. Everything has been phenomenal. The attendees been great. The energy has I think that's the thing. If I could put my finger on one thing, that is just the overall energy in the building is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that. I think that the vibe it's optimistic, it's energetic, despite some uncertainty out there about tariffs and some other things. People are here, they're considering things very seriously, and they've got their chins up.
Yeah.
Which is a really good thing. I know I wanted to talk to you partially about the idea of Printing United Alliance, is an alliance of trade associations.
Yes.
How has the sort of quest to realize that vision of a united printing industry gone?
I think it's gone well. I think that initially we certainly had our work cut out for us. I think there was a lot of uncertainty around what we were ultimately trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
And by putting all of these different printing segments under one roof, let alone the number of associations. But even here today, I mean, yes, we merged with ID Alliance, SGIA, PIA, Branchain, a media company, but there's more than 20 other associations that are on this show floor, all with their memberships here, all celebrating in what, print is and celebrate. And I think that's another thing. We feel a lot of pride walking around this show floor around what we are as an industry and all the cool technology and solutions that we have. So having our other association partners here, and it's not just on this floor, from a legislative affairs perspective, we work with a lot of other associations. So making sure that everybody feels welcome. This was supposed to be a platform for the entire industry to unite together. And I think that we've done a pretty good job of building that so far.
Yeah. I mean, I think there was some skepticism at first. I think just to kind of rehash some stuff, but the sort of North Star of convergence,
yes,
which kind of came to the fore about 5 years ago, I think has really proven out. It's been fantastic to see all the cross-pollination happening within the printing industry. And, everyone is seeking new opportunities, new methods, new sources of revenue.
Absolutely.
And there really is no better place. I'm not going to say there's no other place, but there's absolutely no better place to see the breadth of the opportunity that's out there.
Yeah. And I think that's the other reason that this platform is so important, right? Is that ultimately when you look at the people that are here, both the exhibitors and the attendees, there is no silver bullet. There is no right way or wrong way to do things. All we wanted to do is basically get as many suppliers in the room, as many solutions providers in the room, and the printers in the room, and let them see all the opportunities that are out there. And then they can decide, do I want to branch out and diversify into one area or another? Or maybe the right answer is I want to stay focused on what I'm doing, but I open up partnerships and other things. And that's the beauty of this, is that we're not pushing or telling anybody to do one thing or another. We're just providing ultimately one big petri dish where you can kind of come here and decide what ultimately that you want to be, if you want to evolve and change. And that's really what we built.
You're opening up the 64 crayon box and you're saying,
you got it.
Take the color you want.
Absolutely. Yeah.
No, I wanted to talk a little bit about the Alliance.
Yeah.
The association wing of the Alliance. I mean, I think people think of Printing United, they think of the Expo.
Yes.
Because it's so visible. But talk about the sort of ongoing health of the Alliance, how it's been growing, and really how that the service structure has been evolving over the past several years.
Well, I think one thing that's really interesting when you think about the Expo and what we're doing here, and obviously it's a fantastic show. Beautiful thing about this Expo versus most other shows that other people can go to, both in North America and even in Europe, is that the money that we generate here gets reinvested back into the industry. right? As a not-for-profit, whether it's in government affairs that we are very, very active in, whether it's, in sustainability initiatives that we offer, OSHA initiatives, those type of things. The proceeds from here, is not going to a sole proprietor, right?
No.
It's not going to a private equity company. It is going back into the industry that supports everything that we do.
Yep.
From an alliance perspective, membership is growing nicely. We still need more members. Honestly, I'm starting to think that we need to be pushing the alliance more as again, this pride of being part of something bigger.
Yes.
We are very, very happy as an association to fight the battles from a legislative perspective on the state level and the national level. But it certainly feels better when you have significantly a higher proportion of members in those states, all realizing what it is that we do and why we do it. When we go down on the Hill, and we're talking to members of the Printing Caucus, which is now up to 17 members, which is phenomenal.
Yeah, nice.
The first questions that they generally ask us, because, look, we're not, the government obviously isn't even open right now, but they're not very well schooled on what the printing industry is. They don't know how big we are. They don't even know all of the segments that are here. So it's generally, how big is the industry? How many members do you have? How many members do you have, in my state, AKA voters,
my district, yeah.
Right? What's the impact to GDP? When we start going through all that, their eyes start to really open up in terms of, we're the 5th largest manufacturing segment of the U.S. economy, right? That's high impact, right? Mm-hmm. So and I don't think any lawmaker has, the industry's worst intentions in mind, but we get caught up in a lot of legislation that probably we shouldn't. So our mission has been to clearly, educate the lawmakers and state our case so they can make informed decisions on legislation. We've been very successful there. The other big thing that I've been really happy about is our efforts in the workforce development side.
Absolutely.
A year ago, we made a decision in terms of working with high schools, trade schools, colleges and universities that have graphic arts programs, that rather than having them pay to join the alliance and then get access to membership, we were going to use our foundation funds and basically pay for anybody and every student in those locations. We were going to pay for their membership.
Wow. Yeah.
Right. So they could come in and get access to all the tools that we have and all the resources that we have now, so that as they matriculate through school and then post graduation, they first of all know the alliance, but second of all, realize that there's a great future in this industry. And we have gone from just about 115 student members to well over 1,000 student members since January.
That's fantastic.
We had student day here today. We had over 200 students, here, all excited now about getting into the printing industry. And I don't know if we would have done this 5 years ago, if that would have necessarily been the case.
Right. And I'm of the opinion that somebody can be in a graphic arts program, learning printing in school, but I don't think you understand the breadth of the industry, the breadth of that career opportunity until you get to a place like this and you say, all of this is printing.
Right.
Wow.
And I think that, talking to them, some of the students I met with this morning, it's their second year, and I asked them what the impact was on them last year. And, a couple were very, very transparent that, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do after this, but coming to the show and seeing what is out there completely changed their outlook of what they want to do. So
help clarify their path.
Yeah. And go into every one of these events, you talk to every printer and every vendor that's here. Their number one concern is the next generation of talent. Where's it going to come from?
Right.
That's a big part of our mission and why we exist.
Yeah. I mean, I think that, you mentioned putting the money back in from these proceeds to lifting the industry, providing what the industry wants. I also wanted to talk a little bit about, I know one of the most popular things here at the Expo is this AI pavilion that we've set up.
Yeah.
And that area has been mobbed while we're talking to somebody from Adobe there and I'm sure it's filled to the gills.
Yes.
But, I think as an association, I think associations traditionally are not nimble.
Yes.
They don't pivot well. But as AI has come to the fore for not only the printing industry, but society, the Alliance has stepped up and is putting, again, resources into helping the industry bridge that gap.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I'm really, really proud of our association and just our organization is that I think from an association perspective, we have been very nimble. We actually have a very entrepreneurial mindset. I mean, what we built, here at the Expo was an idea in 2017. And by 2019, we launched the first show.
Yeah.
And expos like this are like trying to, move the Titanic, right? It does not move very
Hopefully
fast.
not the Titanic.
Not the bad analogy. How about a battleship? Yes. How about a destroyer, right?
Right.
But with AI, one of the things that we saw early on was this was obviously going to be hugely disruptive in addition to being an incredible innovation.
Yeah.
Who was going to lead out?
Yeah.
Right. And as an association, we felt it was really, really important for somebody to step up and decide, okay, let's put the resources out there. Let's do research, right? Let's launch newsletters that our members could consume of all of the content that's out there. And then Mark Subers, who's our chief innovation officer, we kind of charged him with the task of okay, if we're going to lead out on AI, what does it look like?
Yeah.
The pavilion is a manifestation of that. We just brought on Amy Serby, who is going to lead out on our AI consulting business that we've just launched.
What is her background in AI?
She has been with a number of clients in the industry, a number of vendors in the industry, actually worked at a printing company, and has an AI degree from Wharton, which I did not know existed until we went through the hiring process. So she really knows what she's doing. She also knows a lot of different solutions partners inside and outside the industry. That's really going to help us as we put together the suite of products that we're going to do from a consulting
perspective. And with that sort of consultant model she's set up to do, she can work individually with member companies to help them chart their AI path forward.
Yeah. So I think where we're at right now is we can definitely do that. What we're going to we're going to try to put together some canned products, one being just assessments of being able to talk to our printer members and quite frankly, our supplier members and get an idea of actually where they are, right? Where are they on their AI journey? Where do they think that they have opportunities? Where do they have holes? And then from there, it's going to be kind of a stepped process all the way through of kind of assessment, and then deciding what we do next. And it may lead to consulting. It may not, depending on where we're at.
Yeah. Kind of continuing on AI, a little bit of a segue here, but, I sat in on the research breakfast yesterday morning, and the Alliance Insights team presented a great overview of their findings on how the industry is looking at planning to use AI.
Yes.
And it's incredibly valuable information.
Yeah, it is.
So,
it's great.
If you could first explain who Alliance Insights is, but then really talk about the value that data brings to an industry like printing.
Yeah, I think we're probably some of the best known secrets or the least known things that we have is our research and economics team. So we actually have 2 full-time economists on staff at the Alliance and 4 full-time analysts, all led by Nathan Safran, who's a former Forrester research analyst.
Yep.
They do incredible work. Andy Paparosi has been in the industry, is really the foremost economist. I don't know if there's other associations that even have people like Andy that are still around that have been embedded into a single industry for 40 years, right?
I don't think there's another Andy in the whole world.
There may not be. And it's when Andy speaks, people should listen. It's like the old E.F. Hutton, deal. So we put a lot of emphasis on data for our members, and members have access to all of this data for free, whether it's the State of the Industry report, the Print Business Outlook series, wage and benefits surveys, and then obviously the new AI study. We are constantly doing research that our members need. One of the best things I will say about Andy's stuff is that it's panel based.
Yeah.
So you're getting a consistent baseline, so you can kind of benchmark where you are. And it's really great seeing some of the members that have pulled me aside today and go, we're taking all that data, utilizing AI, sometimes in their own LLMs. Putting the state of the industry data and the key data factors that we have against their own data and seeing how they compare to some of the top players in the industry, which is really fascinating. So the Alliance Insights team, they do a really phenomenal job. And I hope everybody goes to the website and downloads all the information that's there.
Yeah, the value of that industry data. And I did an article on this recently, but, if let's say you have a roadmap, that you are here on a map is really helpful.
Yeah.
And that's the data.
That's correct.
Where do you sit within your segment or the industry or the opportunity?
Yeah.
And where is everybody else on that map?
Yeah, I think what you just said is really important. So like our key economic indicators reports that are out there, they track, I think it's now up to 14 or 15 individual key economic indicators. And you can actually segment that by what, whether you identify as an apparel decorator or as a commercial printer or as a wide format printer. So you can look at the data as a whole, but then you can slice and dice it too and really put your information against theirs and see where you stack up against other printers that look like you.
And one thing in those I really value is some of that data is tied to broader economic indicators.
Yes, absolutely.
Because we're part of an economy. We're not a little island called printing that's not connected to anything.
That's exactly right.
Consumer activities, trade issues, everything, it all affects us. Recessions.
And the other nice thing about that team is that, we were always looking for what the industry needs. So if anybody's listening to this and has ideas of, hey, I'd really like to see this type of research, we may decide to take that on. If not, we also do custom research for people all the time where it's, hey, I want to go to market. I think we're here. Don't go to market blind, contact us. Let us do some research and lead out with data.
Yeah.
Printing United Expo is where the entire printing industry unites under one roof. Explore cutting-edge technology from over 800 exhibitors, see live product demonstrations, and discover solutions that can transform your business. With exclusive education sessions, expert insights, and endless networking opportunities, this is the must-attend event for anyone in print. No matter your role, Printing United Expo delivers the innovation, connections, and knowledge to help you stay ahead. Join us this October 22nd to 24th in Orlando. Learn more at printingunited.com and experience the future of print today.
I wanted to ask you a little bit. You mentioned earlier, like 2017, the hatching of the nutshell of the alliance. How does what you thought this would be in 2017 compare to what it has become?
If I'm being completely honest, it's exactly what I envisioned it to be. I just didn't know when it was going to happen. I think that we always had this idea that because if you look at a lot of the major exhibitors that are here, right? Digital's kind of democratized the entire industry to a degree.
Very much.
But when you look at their R&D and their product lines, they have product lines for every segment that's here. And what we were asking them to do before this was go to multiple shows to basically be able to sell those. That didn't make any sense to us as we kind of looked at it, especially when we did the convergence data. By the way, we're just talking about research. Research basically led to all this. Yes. We didn't do this blind. We went out and asked our members and non-members what trends they were seeing and where they were going. And it became abundantly clear that building something like this was really important and it would be great for everybody. I think that was a huge key of, putting everybody together. And did I think it was going to happen this fast? We had 2 years off for COVID too. And that was a huge speed bump for us.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of momentum coming out of 19. I mean, 19 in Dallas was an awesome show.
It was amazing.
So much so that we can't fit in Dallas anymore. Yeah. Right. So there's only 4 places that can hold us in the US.
Price of success, right?
It is. It's probably ended up a little better than I envisioned, but in terms of the segments and the people and just the energy, it's what I hoped it was going to be.
Well, I know it's been a lot of work.
It has been. Yes. We have a phenomenal team.
Yeah. And from a personal standpoint, I mean, I've been around the industry for a good long time and this is the right direction.
Yeah. Feels good.
I think I've shared this data point with you now. We do our 150 list at Wide Format Impressions, the top 150 companies. And it blew my mind this year that only 22 of those companies do 100% of their revenue in wide format.
Right.
That's 80%.
Yeah.
My God. And if you look at it, it's commercial printers. It is, they're involved in apparel. They're involved in industrial printing or functional printing applications, but they're also using wide format for some amount of their revenue. And, if you look at some of the really big companies, the percentage of their total revenue that is wide format, not a lot by percentage, but by money numbers, massive.
Yeah. And if you think about that too, if you think about just wide format, for example, you look at the implant market, right? And how much wide format now goes to the implant side and all the great things that, that implants are doing with wide format. Promotional products suppliers that are, utilizing wide format to print promotional products. Again, there was no home for all of those people 10 years ago, right? And now they can come here and it's, you're seeing all of these people in one place, all utilizing technology to help better their firms, which is really phenomenal. And I think that you're going to see that trend continue. I think you're going to see some consolidation. I mean, our next step is you're seeing more labels and packaging, on the floor. So we're going to continue to kind of push it and grow this out as the industry grows and evolves.
Right. And we have this show within a show concept next year.
Yeah.
Going back to when I first started working with you, I know you were involved in the promo space. And I will be honest with you, for a good long time, I just didn't get it.
Yeah.
It's like one was a bakery and one was a hardware store, and I didn't see where they fit together.
Yeah.
But when that finally snapped for me, the connection is huge. The size of that segment is huge.
Yep.
And if you look at the stuff out on the trade show floor here, possibilities in that space to go into industrial marketing applications or customization of products or optics is huge.
Yeah, I think I got lucky early on. I kind of had moved around within the media company and was running different media brands. And I remember when I stepped into the promotional product space, going out to see suppliers that actually decorate product blew me away. I walked in because I had this idea of what it is that they were doing. And I was like, wait a second, you're putting ink on all kinds of things. And you would, and you're looking at 300,000 square foot facilities, that is just packed with printing equipment. And it was everything. It wasn't, I kind of had this idea that it might be pad printing or maybe it was everything from screen to inkjet to wide format. It was everywhere. And I was like, man, we need to get these people into our ecosystem, right? Because they don't have a home. From a standpoint of where they sell their products, they have a home at ASI and PPAI. But in terms of where they source equipment, there wasn't a show for them to necessarily go to but this should be their home. Right. And that's where that whole idea started, quite frankly, is to get them here. But then on the flip side, there was a huge trend towards printers, commercial printers, wide format printers, especially like apparel decorators, now offering hard goods and promotional products. I think the biggest challenge or change there was, if you look back 10 to 15 years, there was a print buyer, that handled, especially with the larger accounts, and they would handle all the print buying. But the promotional products budgets generally sat in marketing. Those jobs have gone away, over time. And now all of the budgets have consolidated into marketing, which means, if you're a print salesperson going out and you're selling them direct mail or you're selling brochures or you're selling, any wide format signage, they're probably also holding the budget for the promotional products. Right. So consolidating that into a single invoice and being able to service that all is a huge value to the client.
Yeah. One thing that is so good for any printing company today is like flexibility of thinking.
Yeah.
I know going back to that sort of pride in, I am a lithographer, I am a screen printer.
Yeah.
Those things are good to be proud of. But if somebody is running a business, you also have to evolve toward opportunity.
Yes.
And not circle your wagons and complain about the fact the whole world has changed around you.
That's right. That's right.
I wanted to just kind of finish up a little bit with a couple questions. I think personally, I understand the value of membership in the association, but let's say I'm a printer and I say, I don't see it. What's the value for me joining?
So you just stepped into my world and what I try to figure out every day. I mean, I think there's the tangible benefits of joining, which we talked about a little bit, have a phenomenal training education program. There is courses for every person within your plant, that as an Alliance member, you come in, you can get phenomenal discounts on trainings, certifications, G7 plus, G7, those type of things. Coming to the show. If you're a member, if you're not a member, you got to pay to come into the show. Yeah. Right. Coming to this expo is free as a member. You have access to our subject matter experts. So, OSHA knocks on your door and, you have a challenge, you can call Gary or Sarah, right? If you have HR questions or HR issues within your plant, we have a great resource in Adrian Harrison. We have phenomenal affinity partners that you come to. The economic data that we talked about earlier, the amount of data and research that you get as a member for free is invaluable. Yep. So, and by the way, that $495 for a printer membership covers everybody in your plant. So if you have 100 employees and you sign up for $495, all 100 of your employees are members and have access to all of that.
Yeah.
The advocacy center that we have is a phenomenal resource. So if you're in a local state, you can go into the advocacy center and say, hey, I'm in Michigan. Oh, there's an EPR law going through right now but click a button, you can sign a letter, and it actually goes directly to your congressperson,
Great.
To be there. So there's tons of tangible benefits there. And I said, the intangible benefits to me is I would love to see this become more of a movement where people join because they're proud of what it is that we're building and they realize that networking and community is really important. Look, we can't do any of this without members. And it's, $495 is not a large investment for many, but it does show your commitment to the industry. And lobbying is not inexpensive. Yeah. We spend a lot of the money that we make from this expo goes right back into what we're doing on the Hill. And honestly, the more members that we have, the stronger our message is when we go into lawmakers, right? So I would say those are the main benefits. And I just feel like being part of something like this, it is just incredible. I'd love everybody to be a member.
Yeah. And you mentioned these, marketing managers now who are kind of the new print fires of the world. Mm-hmm. Let's say you're on an airplane.
Yeah.
And you're talking and this person says, print is dead.
Yeah.
I do digital stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
What do you tell that person?
Well, I'd ask them, first of all, how they define print. That's one of the first things that we do when we go into, and have our meetings on the Hill is tell me what you think of print. And you generally get, magazines, newspapers, maybe direct mail catalogs. And then we start looking around and saying, oh, well, that, potato chip pouch, bag is printed. Yep. Your wallpaper is actually printed. Your flooring in some cases is printed. And it really opens up their eyes to like, holy cow, like, you can't walk 5 feet anywhere without seeing something printed, right? Yeah. So I think it's, and from a digital perspective, I think what's going to be really interesting now with AI specifically, digital advertising obviously has been very strong for, especially a lot of marketers love it because they can measure it.
Sure.
Now we're finding out how much ad fraud has been out there. I think with AI searches now, I think you're going to see a decline in some digital advertising. But studies have proven time and again, utilizing print with digital still gives you a better return, right? So than just using digital alone.
And there's digital fatigue.
Absolutely. Look at your inbox, right?
Oh God.
When I will come at, leave this show floor and I'll have 300 emails when I get home. Yeah. I will tell you when I go home, I will read every piece of mail. When I get back to my house, every piece of mail that's there, I will delete 90% of the emails without even opening that are in my inbox right now.
Boom, 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 boom.
Yes.
Right into the
100%.
trash.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, I guess I'd like to ask you about the expo next year, the 2026.
We're heading back to Vegas next year. So, and it will be in September. Next year, we will not be over Label Expo dates, thank God, next year. So we'll be in September. We will be doing the show within a show with ASI next year. So ASI, the Advertising Specialties Institute, is going to have 50,000 square feet on the show. So we are going to be bringing in the promotional product suppliers. Yeah. So if you're a printer that sells promo, you can bring your production team, that's here looking for equipment. And you can also bring whoever's running your promotional products distributorship and see everything under one roof. So Vegas is going to be phenomenal next year.
I hope between now and then there are some new initiatives or new surprises that we talked about. The show and the Alliance being able to pivot and stay on top of the most recent developments.
Yeah, I think you're going to see a lot coming out of from us on the AI topic. So if you haven't signed up for the AI newsletter, it is a phenomenal resource. And look, I do want to say one thing, Dan, in terms of what you said earlier. what makes me very, very happy about what we've done here is that it doesn't happen from any one person's vision, or this was our team at the Alliance is the best group of people I have ever worked with. Everybody is committed to what it is that we're doing. We're all rowing in the same direction. And I think when you talked about some of the other shows and vision without execution, it doesn't mean anything, right? We have over 80 people at this show, over 100 employees back at home, and all of them have played such a huge role in making this dream a reality. So I want to thank you as well, because you were a huge part of getting the word out and telling our story and even doing things like this. I greatly appreciate it.
Well, thank you for that. I just wish you continued success moving forward. I've benefited from your vision and to have been with SGIA previously and to have been in more of a specific industry track to see this come to fruition, to happen, has been utterly inspiring. And I have loved being along for the ride. So
love you being a part of it, Dave. Thanks
so much.
You got it.
You've been listening to the Wide Format Impressions broadcast. You can find more great content at wideformatimpressions.com.